Hey everybody, welcome to the Faith and Fandom podcast, which you are checking out on the Love Thy Nerd podcast network, where you can find a lot of other great podcasts and things as well. And you can even find a dedicated YouTube channel to this podcast over at youtube.com/Faith and Fandom LTN. And today I am joined by one of the most ambitious men I've met in my region and probably the world, Mr. Wendell LeSueur. Thank you for joining us today, man.
Hey man, that's too gracious right there, man.
Well,
Appreciate it.
I get you. It may be gracious, but man, like, you've got to drive like few people I've met, and not it's hard for some people to understand like hustle and drive, and that ain't you. Uh, so,
Man, you should start him off with that picture I stole from you.
oh yeah,
Remember?
I do,
So
but I don't even
I'm
remember what
not the only one.
it was. Oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But some people it's a problem. Some of us we just don't know how to rest. So that's
True,
a
true.
that's the antithesis to this. Some
Yeah,
people have too much hustle, and what's Andy Mineo says, all hustle no huddle. That's reckless.
yeah, true. Facts, facts.
So if I'm not wrong, I think I first met you when you were working for the Millstone Theater Corporation,
Yeah, correct.
and like outside of just like I'm pretty sure I passed you a million times at the movie theater,
Yeah,
but started connecting with you at Fayetteville Comic Con when you'd be there giving out prizes and stuff like that, and we'd be put in that awkward corner of the
oh,
building where nobody was
man.
going.
When it was the beginning where there was nobody back there,
Yeah, it
just
was just like
had to go out to find people to bring them back there to get some popcorn and stuff. Yeah, that
yeah.
was the humble beginnings.
So, how did you get like? I know you've changed some different career paths and everything. So, how did you get to like where you were in the movie theater business too, like out the gate?
So it's actually pretty funny. I started working at movie theaters when I was like a junior in high school, right? So I wanted to kind of like just get some, it's supposed to be a summer job, like legit summer job. And I just never left. Started to actually enjoy it. And this was back when I was living in Charleston, South Carolina. So I'm from Charleston, South Carolina. So I was working in a movie theater there, trying to get a little summer job. And then like I remember telling my general manager in an interview, like, I want your job one day. And just being a little ambitious little kid, like, I thought that was gonna get me the job, whatever. Got the job, started working there, started liking it, free movies as a teenager, like, I was the man, looking up everybody, whatever. Um, Turn around, I really liked it. Started working as a assistant manager. Um, and then when our company got bought out by Regal, it kind of shifted, right? We were like a family-owned company, and it kind of shifted to a corporation. And when corporations kind of come in, kind of suck that love out of it. Um, so I actually like wanted to quit. But the lady that was our district manager, she went with the other company that uh, bought us, and she started a theater in Fayetteville. And she reached out to my general manager, was like, "Hey, I know Wendell had ambitions of being a manager," and she asked me if I would come up there. And I told her, I was like, "Yeah, I would love to interview." I think I interviewed in Myrtle Beach. And then I told her, the only stipulation I would do is if I move up there, I want to become salary because I didn't want anybody to tell me when I could clock in, when I can clock out. Like, I want to work, I want to work, I want to learn, I want to, do all these things. So that's how I got to Fayetteville. Went to Fayetteville as a salary manager and then worked my way up through there. So
That's solid to have that kind of ambition to be able to say
yeah.
this is what we're doing.
Yeah. I mean, what could I lose? Like not move to Fayetteville? Oh, like, so I just felt like I had that upper hand in that situation. So
And somewhere after that time period, because you transitioned over to clean eats, right? That was your next step and stuff.
So yeah, I worked in probably until about 2 years ago, man. All the way from like 2022. Um, I worked in the theater and then clean eats in 2023. Yeah, it's been crazy, man. Time flies.
And one thing that yeah, it's not to put your business out here,
Nah,
but
man, that's what we're here for, right?
yeah, one of the things that was just a big encouragement to me was one of the times we were set up at Dragon's Lair and set up outside, and we were out hustling for our own businesses. You were repping the theater, I was doing Faith and Fandom, and if I'm not mistaken, that was that August day that was so hot my candles melted to the table. There
Yeah,
there was one of those days we were doing
yeah.
Dragon Slayer where I had my little candles on a grid
Yeah.
and they melted through the grid to the table.
Holy crap, dude.
But I remember that was, I think it was that day that you just walked up and you gave me like a donation for the ministry and just to sew into what I was doing and stuff, and I was just like, okay, like out of nowhere, and you just shared some like spiritual encouragement with me, and I'm just like, my man's out here just swinging, okay, um because it's
No, man, it's pretty cool to find like-minded people, man. I think I mean, it depends on how you see it, but I feel like everybody's on this earth to encourage one another, man. It doesn't matter what we're doing. I think you tried to give me one of your books. Like I was trying to like buy something. I was like, nah, dude, like, keep it, sell it to somebody else, not like anything, but it was like it was sewing into your ministry of just you, right? Like I didn't need anything else. Obviously, I mean, the book is cool. It's a product, it's your passion, but I wanted you to see like, hey man, no, like I'm sewing into your ministry, and like use it for something else. Somebody else can give somebody else a free book or something like that. But I think like all of us are definitely here to like encourage each other, man, especially when we see somebody doing something good. And especially for the kingdom of God. So
so like moving from movie theater to clean eats, and for y'all don't, you can totally correct me if I'm wrong, but Clean
yeah,
Eats is a corporation
yeah.
that provides fresh meals prepared for people, and you order them like healthy, nutritious meals and like a week supply, a month supply, stuff. How's that work?
So it's kind of like it's almost like five folds now. So Cletus is a restaurant, right? So you can go in at any point. We actually have 108 locations right now, all across the country. So from all the way from North Carolina to Boise, Idaho. Um, you can stop into a Clean Eats and it's a cafe. We do what we call meal plans as well. So that's what kind of changes every week, where you can like kind of sign up and get weekly meal plans. Or you can go into any cafe and we have what we call grab and goes, which are pre-portioned frozen meals that are macro based. Um, and you can just kind of go in and grab some freezers and stuff. So,
That's
but
dope.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
I would just say that's dope.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely, I think somebody asked me today, like, why do you work for Clean Eats and stuff like that? And like it's always been like a dream of mine, just because like just a little backstory how I even got to Clean Eats. Like I used them myself when I was on a weight loss journey. I was able to lose like 105 pounds with Clean Eats. Obviously working out, doing things as well, but like I won their We Change Lives Challenge in 2021. So like they started becoming family. And then when I left the theater, um, they saw a gap that they could help me basically continue my career of customer service. So and then I joined them and now I'm one of the support teams. So it's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So beyond just your like, for lack of a better term, but beyond your muggle jobs of of like real world stuff,
Yeah, yeah.
um in recent years you have become, like you've got Born Elite, which we'll talk about as a whole like in a minute, but like you're one of these people that at a, you know, what from my end of things felt like out of nowhere, RKO level of you, my man just like became a wrestling promoter and owns a wrestling company. So tell me how that went down.
So, I mean, a little bit of kayfabe, I guess we're going through that fourth wall a little bit. So it's which is funny. A lot of and I never will say anything negative about the theater experience. It's helped me grow in so many ways and taught me so many things. From when I started to when I quit. Like I never will diminish the time that I spent in the movie theater. Just learning different things like that. But a lot of my uh I guess associations stream from the theater. So actually, when we were at the movie theater, we were trying to think of like different promotions, right? Like different things to that's one of the biggest things that I love. And I think it kind of follows me all throughout any position or any job that I do. It's like bringing smiles to people, right? So I can't control you go see, any movie poster that you have behind you, right? I can't control that movie, right? So whether you like it or not, like I have no control over that, right? But I can control the experience that you have before and after you watch that before and after you watch that movie while you're in my building, right? So we were starting to do promotions. We started doing live streaming, like the UFC and all that kind of stuff. And we were like, what can we do like to like bring this out to like show people like, hey, we're doing this, right? So we actually did UFC for a couple of months, and then we started to do AEW, right? So we're like, what can we do? And Eddie McCoy,
Yeah,
he actually came to me like it might have been like months, even maybe like years before. He was like, hey man, it'd be great if we could do like WrestleMania here, right? Like show WrestleMania. And at this time, like live streaming wasn't a thing, like in Fayetteville. So I'm
right.
like, how are we gonna do that? We gotta pay for it, it's gonna be this much money, it's gonna just be like nuts. So like we couldn't really do it. And then we started doing live streaming, and I'm like, you know what? And I think I got his number or something, or I messaged him and I was like, let's try this. And I got my boss and I was like, hey, what if we put a ring in the lobby and like do like a wrestling show right before the live stream? And he was like, okay, obviously like logistics or whatever. We figured it out and we did it, right? So we did it once, huge success. I mean, people were walking in the theater and just like, what is what
What is
is
there
this?
wrestling ring
Like,
in the movie theater?
well,
Okay,
everybody's
yeah,
like, oh, y'all got boxing in here now? Everything's boxing, boxing. We're like, no, it's a wrestling ring. So like they literally performed, Ring Wars Carolina literally performed a show in our lobby as just people just getting popcorn, going in and whatever. So it was a big hit. So we did it the second time for another stream, and then like it kind of like died off a little bit. And then G Money, which we all know. Um,
for y'all that
him
don't know, G Money is a wrestler and local DJ.
Man, G Money is so much. That's where I get my hustle from too. But so like him and Eddie somehow are talking, and then he calls me and is like, hey man, we're thinking about doing this as far as like a character. You have the suits, you have this. How about you try playing the owner of Ringworth, Carolina? So I'm like, good. I've been a wrestling fan since I was younger. Me and my dad always watching it. Cool, man. It is what it is. So I started doing that, and then started training a little bit, and then really kind of bit the bug. Like I really enjoyed it, really liked it, um, and then kind of just started from there. Like it's come to its own like storyline now. So just a quick plug, November 2nd, Homecoming, Lumberton. Sorry, the Dex in me came out. Um,
So, like, for that, do you like beyond the character? Are you the proprietor of Ring Wars? Yeah.
so no, there is still a proprietor above me. I will say that. I can't go
Okay.
too deep, but yes and no. Yeah, it's like Vince McMahon when he was like at the commentator table, right? Like nobody knows. who the owner really is. So yeah, I'll just say that.
Fair enough. We can leave some walls standing and stuff.
There you go. There you go, man. We can't break all kayfabe. So
Nah,
yeah.
not all of them. So what has that been like for you? Like, what are you almost 2 years deep in this now?
Yeah, yeah. Just
Uh,
about.
what has been your what would you say in terms of your wrestling world experience? What has been your best experience so far since doing this?
Um, I would probably say learning, man. I mean, we all know obviously it's not WWE. You know, indie wrestling is a business unlike any other, even WWE. WWE has a lot more structure, a lot more rules, a lot more, hey, this, that, and the other, right? Indie wrestling is more dog eat dog, depends on what locker room you're in, right? I can only attest to the Ring Wars Carolina locker room because that's what I know, right? We got a bunch of guys um, that work hard in training, you know, want to put on the best shows, but also want to make it in this world, right? So if somebody special comes through those doors and they're able to see these guys wrestle and they get picked up or something like that, you know, that's the ultimate goal, right? Like Eddie always says, like he never wants RWC to beat anybody's into their means, right? Like if you get picked up by NXT, AEW, Ring of Honor, any of these other places, like it's not gonna be like, oh no, you can't go there. Like that's the dream, right? Like we're like the minor leagues, right? Your biggest dream is to make it to the major leagues. So that's like one of the biggest things is just like learning different things like that, learning how to put on a show, from building the ring to taking it down to making sure the card is right, to storylines, to all this kind of thing. I myself, I'm so wrapped up in the psychological part of wrestling, you know, that people don't really think about, right? Like you go to a show and a wrestler tells you, sit down, shut up. What are you going to do when they tell you to do that? You're going to stand up and cheer, right? So like people don't even think about stuff like that. They just play into that person's hands. So like the physical stuff is cool. I love to like get in there and kind of roll around and stuff like that. But it's the psychology of things. Like how can I make people show some type of emotion? I think with that is like the biggest thing when it comes to like heel turns, face turns, like those are my like most exciting moments. Having my kids come in the ring, which is really cool. You know, it's not a WWE ring, but it's our ring, and like to see them in that, and they'll be able to look back, like that was pretty cool too. But like to see some of the guys like progress, it's probably been some of my coolest moments too.
Like my first RWC exposure, and this is probably before your time with
Yeah.
them. Like, I have a cousin who got married and we did the wedding in the ring.
No way.
You can ask some old heads about this. This is a it was their the wedding was in Hope Mills and RWC sat up the ring in this woman's backyard,
What?
officiated I officiated the wedding, and then as the wedding reception, they put on a show.
Oh man.
And so that was my first Ring Wars experience was like my, I'm the only minister in my like extended family.
Okay.
So like every time a cousin's getting married or somebody's in the hospital, that's when I get a phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, and so my cousin called me. She's like, "Hey, I'm getting married. I need you to officiate it." And I'm like, "All right, cool." Went through some details and stuff. All right, I'll be there. Where is it at? Cool. Didn't tell me anything.
You didn't know about the ring and
No,
everything?
nothing, bro. Nothing. And I'm just like, what is happening?
Wow.
And then as part of the reception though, she wrestled
Oh, dang.
on her like and she eventually at some point in the years that followed trained with RWC to like do some stuff. I don't think it
Okay.
lasted super long,
Okay.
but she was trying to be on the roster at some point. But that was my first experience with them. And then like that's one of the things, like, as you know, I mean, like, our schedules are busy,
Yeah, yeah,
and like I hadn't been to an indie match in a lifetime.
yeah.
Like like that day at the wedding was the last time I'd seen an indie match in a minute. And then after talking with you, and you, like, you started doing RWC, you started doing Born Elite, and we'll hop on that in a second with where that's going. But like you had like mentioned, the show coming to Lumberton, and I was like, all right, Wendell's doing this. Bernie was there with that too. And I was like, all right, let me go support my people since they're in town. And like I asked my daughter, my then maybe 9-year old, I was like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm about to go watch a rock concert at a wrestling match. Do you want to come? And she's like, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
So we went, and dude, like, your show that day turned my kid into a wrestling fan.
Oh, that's dope, dude.
And
That's
I'm
dope.
pretty sure it was the minute that like Audrey Allen broke out a wrench on Amanda Kiss, like, and like, yeah, I think
No,
that
we'll
literally
do it.
was like a core memory moment. And
Yeah.
like, I think shortly after that, Royal Rumble came around, and she watched the Royal Rumble, and that was the year Cody Rhodes came back at the Rumble and won it. And
Oh,
she's
that's
like,
really cool,
I'm in this for life now. And
man.
like, even like with one of the matches we went and saw in Maxton area, and you let my daughter ring the bell, and like she's still been like, she got up there, she was so nervous she didn't remember how many times to hit it, so she's just like, tink, 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 like, um so I
Hey, it's
know it
a
makes
hard
a
job,
big
man. It's a hard job.
it's a hard job. I know it's a like, I know what you're saying on the psychological thing just in the planning, but I also know that like it's creating the environment for
Yeah.
the people. And like, how what for you determines a successful wrestling event?
So in the indies, it's no way ever going to be the crowd, right? Like, so if we sell out the crown, like, all right, cool, right? Like that would be cool, right? But if we sell out the crown and suck, like, what does it matter? Right? So if I don't care if it's 5 people, if we put on a good show that gets people screaming, booing, some type of interaction, gets a kid, to love wrestling, um, to get our wrestlers even more training, right? Like we've been to shows where I'll look at the guys and be like, hey guys, this is a content day, you know, perform for the camera, what I'm saying? Because, the crowd out here might not be as big as we want it to be, but don't know who's going to be watching inside that camera. That camera has far more reach than wherever we're at in whatever small town we're in. So, a successful show to me would be just leaving a show making a difference in somebody, whether any of those factors, right? That to me is more successful than selling out a show. Because 9 times out of 10, we're not going to see that money anyway, because it's going to go to somebody else. So
On that note, just because, like, not everybody sees all the sides of everything, how financially viable is indie wrestling from the terms of promotion for like being able to keep it going and everything? Like, how does that
yeah,
look for you?
man, it's tough. This is where I kind of sit at the throne of Eddie and learn, right? Like it's so much that people when you go to a show, there's so much logistics that involves just getting there. I mean, like down to the trailer, down to the truck, down to gas, down to lining up guys to even be on the show, right? Everybody has lives. We all have 9 to 5 jobs. So you can't just say every Saturday, I know I have this roster because guess what? These dudes aren't under contract. It's not WWE where you're paying them to only do this. So every week it's, hey man, I need some guys, and kind of see who you have and kind of go from there. So like the whole logistics from beginning to end to guys breaking down the ring and staying later and all that, a lot of people don't think about. And a lot of factors of profitability kind of go in what kind of show you kind of do, right? Like we always say, man, you put a ring up and four speakers, sell out, you make good money. But if you try to go in the crown with the biggest speaker system, the crazy lights, the big Megatron, all this kind of stuff, hey man, you're spending money on stuff that, yes, it's great aesthetics, but are you making a profit? So it kind of depends on the venue and stuff. And then you got to pay certain talent. Like if you want to bring in a big talent, like guess what? You're going to pay for them. You're going to pay for their hotel. You're going to pay for their travel. You're going to pay for all that kind of stuff. I believe TNA is supposed to be coming down here, the end of this month or next month? Next month.
Fayetteville.
Yeah,
Yeah.
June. I mean, not June. Good Lord. November. I think they're coming in like November.
Yeah, I think so.
Like some of those guys are using our guys, and they're using our guys because our guys are probably cheaper than, a bigger name, right? So, all those kind of things depends on how profitable you want to make it. Um, so that's why most of the time it's not even about like that. Obviously, you want to try to make money to try to do the next show, right? Like you can't just be bleeding money or you're not gonna stay open long. But it just kind of depends on where you're at, how cheap you can get the building, and how you can kind of present it that way.
Okay.
So, I mean, it can be, definitely. I've seen a lot of people kind of push it to a certain extent, but I also seen people like do blowout shows and have five people in the building and they just lost like thousands of dollars. So,
I mean, it's that way with Comic Cons too, in some essences, because I've seen, I've got a friend that for his first show booked the biggest convention center in Savannah
okay.
for his first show.
Yeah.
And
And it
that,
ended up looking like a first show. Yeah.
it meant it from every appearance, it looked like it should have been a blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like when when I was in my row,
Yeah.
Ernie Hudson from Ghostbusters was directly across from me.
Dope.
Two of the original Power Rangers. The dude who voices Darkwing and Tigger, Ash Ketchum was there. Johnny Young Bosch, all these people were there. Um, but it had less people than what we saw on Saturday.
Oh, wow.
And so it's just a thing. You can, like, is what you just said. You can get all the
Yeah.
amenities,
Yeah.
but like that doesn't guarantee success by crowd and things like that.
I think one of the biggest things too I've learned is how important promotion is, right? Like everybody wants to share a Facebook flyer, everybody wants to do everything on social media and stuff. But like we always tell our wrestlers, like if you look down your friends list is probably 85 to 75% wrestlers. And guess what they're doing on a Saturday that you have a show? They're wrestling too. So who are you really like, promoting to? You're promoting to other wrestlers that aren't going to come to your show. So like a boots to the ground marketing, and this is something I take with any part of, Born Elite, RWC, anything that we do. Like you got to go touch the people and tell people. Because if you don't do that, you're going to have a show like that with all the greatest people there. But if there's nobody coming to watch it, what's the point?
I mean, that really does make a difference in terms of like a lot of times you're not selling performances, you're selling connection.
Yeah,
And a 100%, like if you weren't involved in RWC, I don't think I would have made it to an RWC show.
yeah,
Like just because like I hadn't seen it in a minute, but like I believed in what you were doing, so I was like, all right, let's do this.
yeah,
Um, and like I think you do a great job in connecting people with things like that, and just to
yeah.
gravitate from that, like not that you. not that running professional wrestling isn't enough. You also are running Born Elite as a whole. So tell us what Born Elite is.
So Born Elite, it's kind of evolution. I'll tell you something funny that a lot of people don't know about me. Um, when I first got to Fayetteville, uh, there was a version of Born Elite Entertainment that started probably like a year or two when I was here. Like kind of got a music bug, and I actually started a label. Where I actually had like two artists. Um, we were doing like mixtapes and different things like that, like selling CDs. I remember they came down to Charleston and like performed for my birthday, but it's like in my mom and dad's backyard under like a garage port, and like some of the songs we still have today are like pretty cool to me. Um, One of the guys, matter of fact, all the guys that were on my label like worked for me at the theater. We had like a producer who would make our beats, two other guys that were rappers. They were really good. I still think they're good to this day. But like that connotation of Born Elite Entertainment was like there, and I stopped it to kind of focus more on the GM job and stuff like that. So I kind of put it to the side. And then here now, like kind of the second reiteration of it, it actually, we talk about Bernie a lot, but he's probably one of the main factors on why like I kind of brought it back. He had just started the band, and um like I was working at the theater, and he was like, "Hey man, started the band, doing the management thing." And he was like, I don't really have time to kind of like do both. And I didn't, at the time, I was like, what do you mean? Like do both, like booking shows and stuff like that. So, he was like, hey man, I would love if you would do it. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't have time. Like, there's no way I'm gonna get into something and not give it like 100. Right. So I turned him down. And then when I left the theater, I'm like, you know what? It is something that I want to do. I want to help these guys. And I went to one of their shows. I told Bernie I would come, went to one of their shows, and just was like, man, these guys are really good. Like really good. Not just like a garage band, like some
No,
guys
they're
can.
really solid.
Yeah, these guys are like really good. So I was like, you know what? Let me try my hand at this. Like I love like helping people. Like I swear I've probably been on this earth just flat out for customer service, like just making something more, right? So I told Bernie I would do it. So it's kind of like evolved from that, and just kind of like making a brand out of it. If anything, like I would love to do that, kind of like start like a clothing line behind it. Just try to, if I could connect everybody in the world with their talents, it would be the most amazing thing. Like I guess, first bucket list item is to do like some type of festival where I can connect Clean Eats, RWC, and Fear State. Like that's my like to do. Like the first thing I really want to do to like put a stamp on something. Um, in any way that happens would be really cool. But it's just like putting so many people together, because I swear there's all kind of talented people around me, and it's like that for a reason. Whether it's bouncing off ideas. Um, LJ Saturday, right? It's me, LJ, G Money, Law, and we're just literally standing in a circle, and LJ's white. And LJ goes, you know what? We should do a poetry slam in the middle of the ring, and then they wrestle. And then instantly, all of us just started spitting ideas. We're at a point where if we had a ring right then and there, like we could have put all the logistics together to do it. And I said, LJ, you can't put an idea out with five just thinkers and think we're not gonna like put it together. And I love kind of stuff like that. Like, how can we make something bigger and better? Obviously, Fayetteville too. Like, there's so much opportunities in Fayetteville that people I don't think take enough advantage of. People always say, "Oh, there's nothing to do in Fayetteville." There's a lot to do. Like people just don't search it out. Like,
Oh, Fayetteville is chock full of stuff, and
yeah,
like, and it gets a bad rap.
yeah,
But I mean, I grew up in St. Paul's, so Fayetteville was always where you went to find
something to
activity
do. Yeah,
versus to find stuff to do. And let me just throw this at you, just as a, as you're talking about trying to make those connections for people. Don't like legit, and I'll say like normally if people are on the podcast, if they're like not believers or anything, I don't just throw scripture at
yeah,
them, but I can share this with you
yeah, yeah,
that
bro.
Romans 12:8 straight up says that encouragement is a spiritual gift. And I think that's like, a big thing for you, connecting people to where they belong and
Yeah.
how they fit. That's a biblical, a spiritual gift of encouragement. And I've just seen how you work with that. And like legit, one of my favorite things was when maybe it was 2 years ago, when Fayetteville Comic Con did the concert, um,
Mm.
watching you stand back and watch Fear State was something to see because like you had that proud papa vibe, just like, all right, look at my boys, look at them go.
Yeah,
And
man, that was cool, man.
yeah, you had that proud vibe to you, and I was just like,
That's
look at
cool.
him doing his thing. um
It's about enjoying others, man. Like I don't care what it is, man. I want to see people win, like, and not in a, oh, I get something out of it. Like I nothing. Like joy of seeing other people win and knowing like what they do and how hard they work. Like I don't care what it is, man. That's just that's I don't know. That's joy to me. I feel like that's what true joy is.
so does Born Elite Entertainment have a bandwidth to take on more artists?
I say yes. But I truly the only reason I hesitate, right, is because and this iteration is more professional. It's Born Elite Enterprise. Um, but it's like I'm still learning with the band, and like right now I'm
Oh,
sitting
I said
with
entertainment, sorry, enterprise. You're right, you're right.
no. You're right. I didn't say enterprise for the second iteration, so you're good. But I'm still learning with the band, and I think I'm like right there to the point where like I've learned so much, and I got to give a shout out to Bernie and the guys in the band because they have allowed me to learn. Like I'm sure they probably could have got like an actual legit manager and probably been I don't know, in stadiums by now, right? But they've allowed me to learn and kind of go step by step to the process where I think now like I'm legit, like I got like spreadsheets and stuff now and sending out emails to different people and trying to get them booked on like legit shows. But it's just I've never done this for the music industry. The music industry is tough. Like you would think people just would want like, hey, I got a great band that can play great music and the kind of music your club would like. And like people just look at you like whatever, right? Like so it's tough. Like it's a line of work of no's. And I didn't think it'd be that hard, but it is. But it's something that I need to break through. And I think as soon as I do that and get a better flow, I would love to, because I love all kind of music. Like people all the time, like I say, I manage a rock band. They're like, "You a rock band?" I'm like, "Hey man, they're good. They're talented. I listen to certain rock music. I've learned a lot of music from them. So it's something that shows you like I truly enjoy. Like I don't have to listen to rock 24/7. It's the guys in the band. Like people always ask me, "Oh, well, I know you love working in a movie theater." I hate movies, dude. I legit hate movies. Like my wife asks me all the time, "Hey, let's watch a movie." I don't want to sit down and watch a movie. Like I love the kind of customer service aspect and also like the making somebody else's day special. The nostalgia and all that kind of stuff of going to a movie. Me myself hate movies. Only reason I would watch movies is because like my friends would want to watch like Avengers at 12 midnight because they know I had access to it. Like I hate movies. So, but back to your question, yes. As soon as I get a little more, in depth with the band and stuff, I would love to.
So let's say money's out the window, like you're financially flush and all your needs are met and you're living borderline lavish. Money's not an issue.
Okay.
What would you do with finances not being a hindrance or requirement to do what you love? What would that look like in full fleshed out mode?
Man, that's crazy. Uh, so off the top of my head, something that just always like resonated with me. I'm a big family guy, right? So like my dad has I think, 16 brothers and sisters. My
Holy
mom
crap.
has, yeah, Mississippi, dude, Mississippi.
Fair, fair.
Yeah, my mom, I think she has like 7 brothers and sisters. So we've always been a big family, right? So like if I would say something, like I would have my family do a restaurant because all my aunts can cook, all my uncles can cook, and just have something like a legacy restaurant that just like is passed down through generations. I'm a big legacy guy, right? So like everything that I do, everything that I want, um, has to in line with that, right? So they say when you're dead and gone, all you have is your name, right? You can't take anything with you. You can't take money, anything like that. Any accolades, all that's gone out the window. But when I'm dead and gone, I want somebody to be like, hey man, that dude was this. He did this for that. He was in the community, like all these kind of different things. But I think like a restaurant like that would be like something really cool because it could be like, my aunts, uncles, everybody doing it now, and then kind of just pass it down and just kind of keep it. And it'd be good food. So can't get wrong with that. So yeah.
That's awesome, man. So, uh, just some wisdom for people that are looking to establish themselves in management, looking to establish themselves in like wrestling, music, any of those things. What
Yeah.
advice would you have for people who like, I mean, to get involved like with wrestling where you were in management, things like that? Some people would look at that and be too scared to do that.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to people who have like that desire of like, I would like to do this, but they see all the potential road hazards and things in the way? What advice would you give them to encourage them to go?
Um, First it has to be something that you love. Um, I think uh as far as even kind of get a little biblical, like I think the nature in us and the God in us is to serve others, right? And I think that's one of the biggest things with me is to know I'm here to serve others. I'm not here for myself. It's to serve others, and you have to have that mindset when you go into anything in the service industry. Like I can't stand like I'll tell you, one of the biggest pet peeves I have is, and it's very rampant. I mean, obviously, like fast food and stuff like that, for somebody that just doesn't want to like take your order or just feel like, right? Like, just, like I just, it makes my skin crawl. What do you want? Or I'm just like, oh my God. Um, but like, you have to be able to know, like, you're gonna eat crow sometimes. You're gonna get, belittled sometimes. Like people are gonna look down on you. But if you can keep the main thing, right? Like know like, hey, I'm here to do a job and the outcome is gonna outweigh anything that's about to happen. And just kind of stay focused on that. your reward comes in the end, whether it's that proud papa moment with me just like looking at the band on stage, or you know, your reward is more like seeing other people win. And like that kind of goes back to that, like, know that that's your main reward. Monetary things, yeah, cool, put some gas in the car, stuff like that. But also know like it's a delayed gratification kind of job, right? Like while you're doing things in the moment, like there's not a lot of gratification towards it. I love the guys that I work with. They try to tell me all the time, like, hey man, thank you for this, thank you for that. Like I don't even need that. Like that's a plus because I'm not even looking for that. Like, hey man, we need some water up here. I got you, dude. Like, let me go grab that for you. It's not, man, don't look at water. Like, get you water. Like, no, dude, that's like my job. Like, I don't care. Like, I want to make sure you guys are all right. Let me get you some water. When you die up here, like you're singing under these hot lights. Like, yeah, let me get that for you. Um, Customers at the theater. Oh, I dropped my popcorn. I'll clean up for you, man. I got you. Why are you cleaning this up? You're in a suit. Well, it needs to be done. Like, who cares? Like, let's do it, right? So go into anything with the attitude of serving others. I don't care what it is. If you're doing something, people say like IT now and all that kind of stuff. Like any job you have, I don't care what it is, you're serving others. So anything that you want to do, like just keep that mindset the main thing.
That's a hard mindset for a lot of people to grasp.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Um,
Well, that's why you see like certain people can, elevate in certain situations. Like some people will just be who they are, kind of not progress in any way, but some people will excel if they kind of grasp onto that.
it's awesome, man. So, if people want to check out more about the stuff that you're doing and they're involved in, where can they find stuff for Born Elite? Where can they find stuff for Ring Wars? How should they check out Fear State?
Yeah, man. So
So,
I guess IG is the biggest platform unless you're over 35 or 38. Facebook, but IG, you can go to Ring Wars Carolina IG. You can go to Born Elite Enterprise IG. Uh, my personal IG is Prince_LeSueur. Um, which everybody always asks me, why is it Prince LeSueur? And legit, I'm Prince LeSueur because my daddy is still alive. So I can't be a king if the king is still alive. So a little tidbit for everybody. And then Dex Carter RWC on IG as well. So you kind of get Dex Carter, Wendell, Born Elite, and Ring Wars. And then Fear State. Those guys are amazing. Please check them out. Go to their Spotify, their Apple, and they actually have 6 new songs coming out
that's that.
with, yeah, we're gonna start releasing songs like every month and a half. They just finished recording a lot, so it's pretty cool. When I tell you these guys are legit, they are legit. So go on their Facebook and their Instagram, Fear State, uh, just one word,
I
and,
mean,
and
and
check them
even with
out.
the lineup changes, only gotten better.
Yeah, yeah. It's a different kind of lineup now. The frontman has a little more vocals where he can kind of do a little more. So that adds to the show. And Jam, he's a different type of talent. I look at those guys so much. Even like Ian and Ryder, who are the younger guys in the group. Um, to see them grow within like 2 years, like they're like 16 and 17, to see them start doing like solos and stuff like that now and actually like performing and grasping like the actual act of performing to people. It's so crazy, man. It's like seeing your sons like walk. Like it's pretty cool. So like that's why you'll see me like with that proud papa moment because it's like looking at these guys like growing up in front of your eyes and Bernie's tutelage and Josh just kind of being the front man. They're just it's a crazy cohesion that works, right? So like a 16-year-old to like a 50 something year old that
Something.
Bernie is, yeah, I don't want to call his name, call the number out, but like that range is so crazy, and for how they work together, it's mind blowing, man. To like hear them start like it's almost like a mad science thing where they're just like start like playing with a tune, like they'll just start playing. And next thing you know, it's a banger song. Like you like, how do you even like come up with that? Like how do you where does that come from? Like I don't know. I can't imagine it because I'm not that musically inclined. I can only play like the recorder when we were like fifth grade. That was my biggest musical instrument. So
Awesome, man. We'll make sure that everybody has links to all your stuff. And
please.
before bounce, any last thing you want to say to anybody that's hearing you or meeting you for the first time?
Hi. I kind of want to can I know this is your pod, but can I kind of give you some kudos as well?
Go
Um,
for it, man.
no, man, but like I always love like what you do as far as like community stuff. I always admire people that kind of do it first, right? Like and try to follow in the footsteps. You, LJ, like I watch you guys from afar, and I probably don't tell you guys enough like how awesome it is to see you guys doing things. Like I actually about your con the other day because it's like a lot of people like asked about it. Like the guys in RWC even asked like, "Hey man, are we doing that con again?" And I'm like, oh crap. Like, I mean, I didn't know you guys liked it that much. But it's like opportunities like that people put forth. You know what I'm saying? I know it took you like, a lot of work to do so, like just gathering people and stuff like that. But you guys it just encourage you guys to keep going, man. No matter what. And if I can ever help in any way possible, man, just let me know, man.
I appreciate that. That's
Yeah,
well
man.
received.
Yeah. Awesome.
Well, everybody, thank you for taking time to listen, to watch, and hope you enjoy this conversation. You'll be able to check the links for more information on Wendell and RWC and Born Elite Enterprises. Yes, I said enterprise. That's the right
Let's
word.
go.
Born Elite Enterprise. You'll be able to check all that out. Remember, you'll be able to find this on the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network, our YouTube channel. You can also find this on the Glue Network on Roku, along with other nerdy and faith-based infused properties. So you can find that anywhere you can access a Roku on the GLU network. Um, we're also not the only podcast on the on the Love Thy Nerd Podcast Network. So check out a lot of the other options that you have there. And thank you for taking time to listen. And we hope to see you again soon. Thank you for your time.